Hey everyone, Mr. K here with another video for GameMaker. This time we're going to do fonts. Now those of you that have me in class, we've done fonts before, but I want to revisit it mostly for your reference. And on top of that, I am seeing some people who are going back to the old way that we initially learned how to do fonts and text, which was not the best way, which was going into making a sprite and then typing in your text in that sprite itself. Now, depending on what you're doing, that might be more appropriate. If you're making a piece of your environment that requires text, say the sign of a shop or something like that, street sign, I don't know, then yeah, you want to go into your sprite and type the text in. This way it looks like it's part of your environment, it's more immersive, and it just looks authentic. But if you're talking about the GUI, the graphical user interface, title screens, menus, game screens, then that should be really done as far as best practices. It should be done using code to draw text and using fonts and things of that nature. So I want to go through one more time just the process of how to get fonts into the game and how to get text on the screen. In fact, I'm going to do it the other way. I'm going to do text on the screen first, and then I'm going to show you how to set up fonts. So first things first, I do have a room set up here, and there's an object inside this room. This object is object title. There is nothing in it except for this draw GUI event, which we're going to fill up right now. I'm going to put in here draw text. Now it says title. Let's make it a title of our game. And what we're going to do is we want to put it in the middle of the screen. So that means we want to, well, let me do it this way. Let me put in some numbers first. Let's put in, I don't know, 100 and 100. And then the string itself, and we need the string or the name of a game. Swell game. This is a swell game. Okay, so what's going to happen here is text will be drawn at the point 100, 100, and the text would be swell game. So if I run it, there it is, swell game. And this is popping up at exactly the point 100, 100. Now, one of the things you have to note is where does the text actually start drawing? It's a little tough to tell here because I'm using 100, 100. Obviously, I think this is 100 over, but is this 100 down to the top of the text, or is it 100 down to the bottom of the text? Let's try it a different way. Let's put this right smack in the middle. So room width divided by 2. Hey, there's a D in diff. Room height divided by 2. Let's see if we can get a better feel for it. I need to get a freestanding microphone, so every time I cough or sniff or whatever it may be, I can turn my head. This was with a headset is not working out too well. Anyway, so what I tried doing here is putting it in the center of the room. And as you can see, it's not really centered. It's off to the side. That's because it's starting drawing right here, and in fact this is the middle of the room right here, and we have text below it. So one of the other commands that we need to throw in here is a horizontal line and a vertical line, because the point we're telling it, whether it was the 100 100 or the room width cut in half or height cut in half, that's where it starts drawing by default, and it draws to the right and down. So this is actually the center of the room right here, so it draws to the right from there and draws down from there. If we actually want to get this centered, we got to do a couple other things, and we got to do it just before it. We're going to do draw, set, horizontal line, and I think it's FA. Shoot, I should have looked that up beforehand. It is FA center, and then draw, set, V line, FA middle. Now you can do left, right, center here. You can do top, middle, bottom for the vertical line. But they will basically position the text around the point that you specify. So we're specifying the middle of the room. So now the text will be centered exactly in the middle of the room. So it's not going to draw to the right and down. It's going to draw it, yeah, I don't know, left and right of the point and up and down of the point. So there we go. We have something that is smack dab in the middle here. Swell game. And you can do a couple other things too. There's also another one, another useful one. draw set color. So if I want to do, I don't know, blue. And you can get creative with that. There's other ways to set colors that you can look into on your own. So if you don't want a named color like blue, red, yellow, green, black, or white, you can put in hexadecimal values. You can put in RGB values to actually pick out your color perfectly the way you want it. But these are the basic ones that you will need in order to put text in your game. The only problem here is that it's the default GameMaker font, and you don't want to use the default GameMaker font. So what you want to do is you want to make your own font up. So we're going to, in this font folder, it'll pop up. There's a button up here for it. Create a font. And what you can do is you can actually pick out what font you want to use for text, and they list everything that you have on your system, and you can pick sizes and anti-aliasing, which, depending if you're making a pixel game or not, you want off or set to some specific level, and change the size, bold, italic, all that good stuff. Now, before you do any of this stuff, what you should do is not select anything that you have in this list, unless, of course, you've done what I'm about to show you already. Don't use a Windows default font. Just don't. Don't. You want something to look professional. I don't care what you're doing, whether you're making a game, a poster, trying to make a nice essay. Pick a font from the internet somewhere that is going to stand out, because everyone has seen all these fonts before. Well, I got some extras in here because I've done some things, but no, don't put Comic Sans or Palatino or Georgia or Copperplate. Is it Copperplate? I don't know. Cooper Black, Copperplate, all those. You don't want to use the system defaults. So go to the internet, find a font. I like defont.com. There's Font Squirrel. There's all these different ones, and just pick one. I'm going to pick this one just because it's on the front page. Download it. I'm going to open it with 7-zip here and install it. There, I just installed a new font, and now I can use this font in my game. It's called Qualité Deluxe Platinum. So, let's close this out. I might need to reopen it for it to show up. I hope not. Nope, there it is. Pops right up. There's my font. Let's crank up the size a little bit. Nah, leave it normal. Looks good. We'll call it FNT. This is going to be the font for my title. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to go back into my title. I'm going to add one more piece of code in here. Draw, set, font, and FNT title. Run the game. There's my swell game title. Instant professionalism. Use a font that somebody hasn't seen before, that the general populace hasn't seen before. You just want to avoid it at all costs. Everyone has seen the default fonts. You want to make something look amateur, use a font that's in the system. You want to make something look really nice, a little bit more professional, go out and find a brand new font. Okay, something that really speaks to your game, something that's got character that goes along with your game. Yeah, so find fonts, and please draw text. Draw text for your GUI, draw text for your title screens, okay? You want to avoid using sprites for fonts. And one of the key things, I forgot to add this. This is huge. Oh, I decided to change the name of my game. Now we're going to call it, I don't know, Smelly Game. Well, you don't need to remake a sprite. All you need to do is just type it in one more time, and now all of a sudden it renders, okay? If you do need to skip lines, I think the # or the hashtag or whatever the heck you want to call it will skip lines for you. I'm guessing. I hope. There we go. So that's it for fonts. I hope I covered just about everything you need. There is, of course, more to it than just that, but as far as the basics go, font, color, horizontal, vertical line, and then, of course, the draw text itself. Yeah, and that's it. Bye.